My name is Sarah Smith, and I will be doing a deep dive into Donatello's Pazzi Madonna and Penitent Mary Magdalene. Donatello is considered to be a father of the Renaissance and a master of sculpting. He was exposed throughout his life to various materials and their artistic uses in metallurgy. While his greatest work is considered to be a bronze statue he made of the biblical figure David, two other astonishing works are the Pazzi Madonna and Penitent Mary Magdalene. They are fine examples not only of his skill as a sculptor, but of a masterful use of symbolism and hidden meaning. Donatello created the Pazzi Madonna marble relief sculpture between 1425 and 1430. It was likely commissioned by the wealthy Pazzi family and made for their private enjoyment at home. According to Donatello.net, it is remarkably shallow, only a few millimeters thick. This is due to the sculpting technique Donatello utilized, which is now commonly associated with him, stiacchiato. Along with optical illusion to make it seem deeper, he used implied lines to help guide the viewer's eye and create a sense of realism. The relief depicts the Virgin Mary with her newborn son, Jesus Christ. It focuses on their tender intimacy, creating a very relaxed and loving atmosphere. The Virgin holds her son sturdily, yet very gently, with her hands curved smoothly over his frame. Their foreheads are softly pressed together, and he has a chubby hand against her upper chest. They are gazing into the other's eyes. The pose is very natural and believable, as well as emotional and calm. However, many viewers have noted how Mary's expression is rather melancholy. This is thought to represent her remorse over her son's future destiny, being killed for the sins of mankind. In the biblical text, she was not made aware of this destiny when the angel Gabriel came to announce her future birth in the book of Luke, chapter 1, but Donatello may have simply taken creative license. Conversely, maybe Mary's expression has been misread, and she is tired or relieved or contemplating her son's future without pondering his death. Regardless of the meaning behind her expression, the Virgin Mary seems to represent a greater idea. She may represent God's tender, infinite love for his children. In this scenario, Mary serves as a representation of God himself, while the baby represents humanity. In the end, Pazzi Madonna is a lovely and possibly enigmatic example of Donatello's skill and creativity. It can serve as a symbolic example of God's love for his children, or simply a mother's love for her child. In dramatic contrast to the Virgin Mary, Penitent Mary Magdalene is a figure of despair and suffering. These two women, while bearing the same first name, are different people. The Virgin Mary was the mother of Jesus Christ, and Mary Magdalene was one of his most devoted followers. Why is she depicted with such suffering? While there is some disagreement over the details of her personal life, the Bible tells us in Mark 16, verse 9, that she was once inhabited by 7 demons. The sculpture, which Donatello carved from poplar wood, could represent Mary's plea for repentance from a sinful life. It was very different from most Renaissance-era depictions of Mary Magdalene. While the long hair, which clothes her body in this artwork, was a standard feature, she was typically shown as being very young and beautiful, and her desperation and regret was shown through facial expression alone. Donatello's depiction was a drastic deviance from this standard model. He used her whole body to show her remorse. Her cheeks are hollow, eyes sunken, skin stretched tightly over the ridges of her chest. She appears desolate, totally in need of redemption. She is symbolic of human weakness, like a more dramatic version of the Pazzi Madonna baby. Yet, even amid her desolation, she is still strong, resilient. Her stance is sturdy, arms lean but muscular, head mildly tilted but held high. This also indicates she has hope for salvation. Her hands are raised as if in prayer, but they don't quite touch. What might this symbolize? One commonly heard note among Bible believers is that a person only needs faith the size of a mustard seed to receive salvation. Maybe Mary Magdalene is a representation of this concept. Overall, Donatello's Penitent Mary Magdalene is a startling but beautiful representation of Christian life, something he frequently depicted in his work. His personal religious beliefs are not known to us today. Most of his artwork also tended to be commissioned and wasn't necessarily his own ideas. Still, he was an expert at his craft, and Mary Magdalene is one of numerous examples of his visual and symbolic artistic abilities. Donatello's Pazzi Madonna and Penitent Mary Magdalene have many more differences than similarities. A similarity would be the interesting name coincidence. Both women are called Mary. Beyond that, similarities are few. The artworks feature different mediums, different subjects, different emotions. Pazzi Madonna is pretty and relaxing, full of gentle motherly love. On the other hand, Penitent Magdalene is striking and dramatic. Donatello's ability to convey strong senses of emotion through his works are probably what have helped his pieces survive for so long. He lived over 600 years ago, yet his works are still seen today. While his statue of David might be his most famous piece, Pazzi Madonna and Penitent Mary Magdalene are just as worthy of his admiration and contemplation. With hope, people will continue to view his work throughout the remainder of this century and the next, always finding new previously unseen details and making formerly unconsidered observations.